Hello, fellow nerds. Welcome back to the Fellowship of the Nerds. I am your host, Luke Skywalker, and today we have a really cool one. This is TXQ's Master Obi Wan Kenobi from the Kenobi series, which I know that some of you might have not liked it. I really enjoyed it because we got to see the rematch of Anakin slash Vader versus Master Obi Wan, but this is one really cool saber. So let's open this one up and check it out. Now, while this is a generic box that TXQ had sent us, that doesn't take away the fact that inside comes with a really cool and amazing Obi Wan Kenobi from the Kenobi series hilt. It comes with the blade, of course, a picks up blade, a toolkit box that includes a plug, charger, cable, the SD card reader, blade plug, and then on this side we have our instructions and product manual, the display stand, which is generic, but overall this is a really cool presentation. Now this is a really cool saver. You would have seen that already. The contents show that it comes with an accurate blade plug, which we'll show you once we bring it back inside, but we'll first go outside to show you what it looks like in the dark. This is really good one. I mean, you can see the weathering is not massively weathered, if you know what I mean, but it is, like it's brushed here. You can see the usage and passage of time and the grenade bit and this, but then it still holds a little bit of, flashiness and stuff. So it kind of wants to give you the vibe of this is after the Battle of Mustafar, but before getting to Old Man Kenobi, where it's completely used and messed up. So it is good. I think I have to give it to TXQ. This looks very nice. I know that there are options out there like 89 Sabers and Cobars and others, which are really, really fascinating. Do not get me wrong, but also the prices will go up a bit. But this one, for what it is and for what you can get this roughly around £200 or whatever that is in your currency. There, sometimes you could even get it for a bit less. So, like, it is really worth the money, is what I'm trying to say, because it's not that dissimilar to the Hasbro Black Series Kenobi, which, do not get me wrong, is not bad. Black Series has had some really bad ones. The Leia one comes to mind, for example. But the Kenobi one of Hasbro wasn't really bad. It really looked okay, but it was definitely bulkier. And things like swings and stuff like that. Obviously, we all know that NeoPixel Profies, if you want smooth swing and everything to look and sound okay and not be a mess, that's where you want to go. Hasbro is nice to have on your shelf, but that's pretty much about it. And again, even to have at your shelf, they're a little bit bulky and they're a little bit heavy. So just to give you an idea, that Rey Skywalker that you see there, if you ever get the Black Series one, that is, even though that's a massively bulky and big lightsaber, the Black Series one is the heaviest of the two. So it just gives you an idea how thick they can be and heavy they can be. So there is that. But without further ado, let's take this one outside, show you what it can do. Okay, that is really an amazing saber, and it really swings and moves okay. Now that we come back inside, I want to show you guys more detail what comes with the accessories, because, like I said, it does come with a screen accurate blade plug, but it comes with a bunch of other stuff. It comes with the lower part of the hilt, so you can the pommel, so you can get a completely screen accurate saber. You have obviously the charger, but the other thing that I really like is that it comes with a replica keychain as well. So it is very cool. I thought that I'd show you guys what comes besides of just showing you a quick overview of the box. Okay, now that we have the blade plug in, you can see it. Really completely screen accurate. I mean, this, to me, screams screen accuracy. The only but that I will give this saber, if we're going to talk pros and cons, is that I would have expected for this to be the ignition button and this to be the auxiliary button if it was going to be a 2-button configuration, which it is. Funny thing is that it's a 2-button configuration and it's all here. So the aux is here and the power button is here instead of, so Not entirely sure why they chose to do it this way, but I mean, it works, which is the important thing. Just that it feels like this is a missed opportunity. You could do something with this and have hidden buttons. But there you go. Now let's put the blade in and let me show you guys, now that we're back inside, how this looks and some of the key features of it. Okay, now that we have our blade put in, we are going to give this a go. Now, do have in mind that we have altered the lightsaber on the app, so it gives the flicker that is the normal one. So you would have seen that on the video outside, and you'll notice that probably in here. Well, maybe not with the light, but just note that profile is normally something that you have by default. On this is something that you can modify on the app that these lightsabers have. So it's something that you can do, so you're not stuck with just the simple or the usual, hunter ignition and crack blade and that sort of stuff. Like, you will have way more options than just the default, as you only need to tinker with the app a little bit, and that'll do it. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1. Now, something interesting about this smooth swing, it is perfectly smooth swing, but you would hear that it's sort of subtle. That is not because this lightsaber is not loud enough or anything like that, but because the hum is supposed to be a little bit subtle, at least on the Kenobi version. So that is actually pretty spot on. But you do get the sensation that, the second that you move the saber, the smooth swing is there. It's just that it's not as potent, if you will, as it would be on, say, for example, Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber, which will be much more noticeable. Also, the hum on that is way more louder and more deep, I guess would be the right term. So it is something to have in mind. Also to have in mind is the fact that this lightsaber, once you put the blade in, this emitter is very small. The same thing with the Luke Skywalker emitter. So the problem with that is that when you put your blade in, you don't get a lot of depth in it. So it's not even an inch. I would say probably close to like half an inch more than that. So even if you put all your retention screws, be mindful that, number one, this is a 32-inch blade, and I would recommend for something like this to have 32 instead of 36. 28 might look a bit short, but then that's entirely up to you. But I would definitely recommend not to go with 36. I also would recommend that you put all your retention screws. And lastly, that you're careful when you're using this. NeoPixels, I mean, we all know that they can break, so I wouldn't recommend that you go to town with them. But it's not a blade that you cannot ever touch. No, you can do light pairing and that sort of stuff. Just be mindful that in this particular saber, because of this, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you go around doing that unless you're careful, because you might not only break the blade. I mean, you could always buy another blade, but it's more the fact that you could maybe damage the emitter, and then you will have a bigger problem, because then you'll have to not only change the blade, but then take it somewhere to change the emitter. Might not even be worth your trouble. So do have that in mind. But with that said, that is our review. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I want to thank TXQ for being able to come back to me really quickly when I had a question around the whole one button, two button operation, when it's all the same button, but it really isn't. It really didn't lend itself to be very evident. And the problem is that, the instructions come with the lightsaber, of course, but they can be a little bit generic. Sometimes they're not specific to the lightsaber that you have in your hand. When it comes, for example, to say, oh, if you have one button, do this. If you have two buttons, do this. But the problem is that when you see this and you realize that these are not buttons, you're thinking, oh, this is one button lightsaber, and nothing further from the truth. So do have to thank TXQ for coming back to me real quick. And that's really our review. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, leave us a comment, share, subscribe, all the things that everybody says on these things. And until the next time, please be kind to yourself, look after each other, live long and prosper. May the force be with you. May the odds be ever in your favor. Whatever it is that floats your boat, you just do that. In the meantime, stay being awesome, stay safe, and stay cool. See you around, nerds.